All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49ers Commanders preview. And check out Pig and a Pickle, two locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. Go say hi to Damon and Mary, get some brisket. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. And this preview video is brought to you by Mojo Fantasy. I'm loving Mojo Fantasy. Check that link in the description. Use the promo code Krug, K-R-U-E-G, and they will match you up to your first $100. All right, on Sunday, the 49ers take on the Commanders. If the Niners win the game and the Eagles lose to the Cardinals, the Niners wrap up the first round bye, the number one seed in the NFC. And the Ram game in Week 18 will mean absolutely nothing. But first, standing before them are the Washington Commanders. The Niners are 11-4. The Commanders are 4-11. The game will be on Fox in the morning window on the West Coast. Niners are 13.5-point favorites. Niners are 8-6-1 this year against the spread. The Commanders 6-8-1 against the spread. The Niners lead the series with the Commanders, formerly the Redskins, 22 wins for the Niners, 12 for Washington, one tie. The last meeting, the Niners beat Washington 37-20 on Christmas Eve day in San Francisco in 2022. Last week, the Niners lost to the Ravens 33-19. The Commanders, though, lost to the Jets 30-28. Now, interesting when you look at the breakdown of where these teams rank in offense and defense. Niners have the number 2 offense overall, fourth best rushing offense, second best passing offense, and they're third in points per game scored. The Commanders on defense are ranked dead last, 32nd in the NFL, 23rd against the rush, 31st against the pass, dead last in scoring. Major advantage, Niner offense. Niner defense is 11th overall, 3rd against the run, 16th against the pass, 3rd in scoring, points allowed per game. Commanders offensively are 19th in the NFL. They have the 21st rated rushing offense, 16th best passing offense, but they're 23rd in the NFL in points per game. So the one significant development in this game is that we thought Sam Howell was going to be out. He's been sacked 60 times this year. He's been pulled out of the last 2 games because of ineffectiveness for Jacoby Brissett. But then Brissett pulls a muscle in practice, and now it looks like, according to the reports, that Sam Howell, indeed, the rookie from North Carolina, is going to wind up starting in this game against the 49ers. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. Sam Howell is an interesting guy. He set the North Carolina high school record for total offensive yards back in high school, 17,036 yards. He went to Sun Valley High School, originally committed to go to Florida State, but Mack Brown convinced him to go to North Carolina. He was a 4-star, top 100 recruit, and so he wound up going to North Carolina. And he was a 3-year college starter. He's kind of stocky. He's got a lot of confidence, throws the ball really well. He has good foot speed. A lot of people have said, man, this guy's a gamer, and he's very confident demeanor. He can climb the pocket and scan the field, but he's held the ball an awful long time this year. He's taken a ton of sacks and, 60 sacks. And he does take way too many sacks. He did this in college. He doesn't have great accuracy. He does have, though, a good deep ball, though it can come out late at times and be a little flat, but he's got great arm strength, and he's got great mobility. He had a couple 100-yard rushing days when he was at North Carolina in college. So it's Sam Howell and not Jacoby Brissett. Sam Howell did not have a good passing week last week, so it's not like he's coming into this game with tremendous momentum. But he has played a lot this year. So the one thing with Washington is they have real weapons. Terry McLaurin, 3rd-round pick in the 2019 draft. He's a true number 1. Jahan Dotson, their 1st-round draft choice in the 2022 draft out of Penn State's got great ball skills. And then Curtis Samuel, the veteran, has got great wheels. Now, the thing about Howell is he's operating behind a banged up offensive line. Charles Leno, the left tackle's dinged up. Tyler Larson, the center, is also hurt. Andrew Wiley, the right tackle, is not 100%. So he's operating behind a line that's got 3/5 of it dinged up. Brian Robinson, one of his best backs, and Antonio Gibson, both can really catch the ball out of the backfield, and they're major threats. But Robinson is a little dinged up. So, you've got you don't have healthy running back, you don't have healthy offensive linemen in front of you, but he's got Terry McLaurin and he's got Jahan Dotson, he's got Curtis Samuel. They've got a puncher's chance in this game because of the talent of those weapons and also the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield by Antonio Gibson. So they got a shot. On defense, they're led by 93 and 94, as Brock Purdy said earlier this week. 93 is Jonathan Allen, first-round pick in 2017. Deron Payne was the first-round pick. He wears 94 in 2018. Back-to-back first-round picks, and they're monsters inside. They've got movement ability, pass rush ability, really good players against the run and the pass. They traded Montez Sweat to the Bears. They traded Chase Young to the Niners. And so their defensive end tandem is Casey Toohill. And if that name is familiar, it's because he played at Stanford. And then James Smith-Williams, who's a great athlete as well, the left defensive end. Khaliki Hudson and Cody Barton are their linebackers. They're fast coverage type linebackers. And the real problem for Washington in this game is that both of their number one corners, Benjamin St-Juste, number 25, and Kendall Fuller, number 28, are both out. So they've got two top corners out. Also, Percy Butler, who was a fourth-round pick in 2022, the free safety, he's hurt. So, it's Cameron Curl. It's going to be Caillou Blue Kelly, Quan Martin, Manuel Forbes, their first-round pick out of Mississippi State, Tariq Castro-Fields, who you might see him in this game. That's going to be the makeup of their secondary, and that is major advantage 49ers. Major advantage 49ers. One player to watch in this game, I think, is definitely going to be Chase Young. He faces his former team. Niners traded for him before the trade deadline for a third-round pick. He's been okay. I wouldn't say Chase Young has been world-changing. He's got 2.5 sacks in 7 games with the Niners, 23 pressures, according to Pro Football Focus. Young, though, started his career in Washington, and he was the number 2 pick in the 2020 draft. He had 14 sacks in 34 games for Washington after they took him number 2 overall. He just hasn't looked quite like the player he was at Ohio State or in his rookie year since the major knee surgery he's had. Now, he's been okay with the Niners, but he hasn't been spectacular, and he is a free agent at the end of the year. So, very interesting as far as, what kind of game does Chase Young have against his former team? He knows those offensive linemen. He knows that scheme. Does he have a monster day rushing the passer? The 49ers would gladly take that. The one guy to really watch, one of the key matchups in this game, is going to be George Kittle against the Commanders D. When you look at Washington this year, they have not done a very good job at stopping the passing game, but they really don't have a defender capable of handling George Kittle. So I would expect Kittle to go off. I think Kittle's going to have a 80 to 100-plus yard day. I think he's going to have 6-7 catches. I think George Kittle could have a huge day. And when you look at the fact that their starting corners are out, Dwelly could have Ayuk could have a big day. Debo could have a big day. So I like the Niners to basically do whatever they want in this game offensively. I think they're going to run. I think they're going to pass. I think the Niners are going to put up 35 points in this game offensively. So then it's just a matter of, can Sam Howell put up 35 against the 49ers? And it will take big plays and penalties for it to happen. Now, the Niners are banged up on defense. Eric Armstead's not going to go. He's got plantar fasciitis. He's going to sit out for the 4th consecutive game. That's going to hurt. We are going to see Sebastian Joseph Day most likely for the first time all year, and that's exciting. Sebastian Joseph Day was just acquired off waivers, and he's got a lot of talent. Jair Brown's not going to go at safety. That means Logan Ryan is probably going to start at safety opposite Tayshaun Gibson. Juwan Jennings has been ruled out with a concussion. So Juwan, JJ's not going to go. That's a big one, too, because the 49ers, Juwan Jennings has been a key guy for the 49ers. We thought there was a chance that Danny Gray would hit the field. His practice window was opened, but on Saturday, the 49ers announced that Gray's game status has been downgraded from questionable to out. So he's not going to go. The Niners did make a move on Saturday. They elevated Eric Harris and Tay Martin from the practice squad to the active roster. So Eric Harris may see some time at safety, and big play Tay Martin may see some time at wide receiver. And Tay Martin's a pretty good player. Other injuries to watch for on game day. Aaron Banks has got turf toe. Is he going to go? Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles. Is he going to go? Is Jordan Mason going to play? He was ill this week. Is Ambry Thomas going to go? He's battling a knee and a hand injury. So we know Washington will be without Charles Leno, their left tackle with the calf injury, and Tyler Larson, their center with the knee injury. They put both those guys on season-ending injured reserve. So those guys are out. And Percy Butler, their safety, has a wrist injury. He's also out. And Chris Rodriguez, the rookie running back out of Kentucky, has an ankle injury. He's out. Kendall Fuller and Benjamin St. Juste, as I mentioned, the starting corners are out. We do expect Brian Robinson, the running back, the former Alabama star, is expected to return. He's missed the last couple games with a hamstring injury. So the Niners haven't been at FedEx Field since 2019. So it'll be interesting to see if the Niner fans travel with them during the holidays to FedEx Field. Kyle Shanahan, of course, always has the revenge factor on his side here. He spent 4 seasons as Washington's OC from 2010 through 2013, working for his father, Mike Shanahan, when Shanahan was the head coach. So, it's going to be an interesting game. I expect Brock Purdy to really, the other big question in this game is Kyle Van Noy said that the Ravens put together the template for how to beat the Niners. And that, if teams just copy the Raven game plan of blitzing off the edges and dropping guys into the zones and the windows that Brock Purdy likes to throw in, that will neutralize Brock Purdy. We're going to find out. Is it a copycat league, or can the Niners make the adjustments? Will teams copy the Ravens game plan, or will they try a different route to defend Brock Purdy? Purdy has 4,050 yards passing. He only needs 229 more to break Jeff Garcia's single-season franchise record of 4,278. That's from the 2000 season. So, of course, Purdy's coming off of a 4-interception game. I'm sure he would love to bounce back in a big way. Christian McCaffrey, by the way, is tied for the NFL lead with 21 touchdowns. He is too shy of tying Jerry Rice's franchise mark of 23 touchdowns set in 1987. So that could happen. We could see that in this game. McCaffrey could tie the great Jerry Rice, or maybe even break Rice's record. So McCaffrey's been amazing. He's had at least 100 yards from scrimmage in now 8 games in a row. He needs 68 this week for a fifth 2,000-yard season in team history. The 8 games in a row is a franchise record, by the way. So there you go. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting game. Terry McLaurin would have to really go off. He, by the way, needs only 6 catches to become the first player in franchise history with 75 plus receptions in each in 4 consecutive seasons. So he's 115 yards receiving away from a 4th consecutive 1,000-yard receiving season. If McLaurin went off, maybe the Commanders could score enough points to hang with the Niners. If Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne, who, by the way, have combined for 5.5 sacks just since Chase Young was traded to the Niners, if those guys dominate up front and bother Brock Purdy and harass him, and he suddenly makes, 3 or 4 more turnovers, anything can happen. It's the NFL. So it's going to be really an interesting game. I like the Niners to score 35, and I think they're going to wind up winning big. I'm going to say 35-13 49ers. I think they get the win against the Commanders, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close. All right. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Mojo Fantasy, and make sure you check that link in the description. Mojo Fantasy, check the link and type in the promo code Krug, Krueg, and they will match you up to your first $100. Thanks to Mojo Fantasy for sponsoring the Krug Show. And thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.